So I'm going to unmute, and I got my camera.
There you are. Hello, Dr. Samina.
I was just wondering, I said, what happened?
Yeah, so there's Irene. Hello, Irene.
We both in red.
Yes, beautiful.
Nice.
All right, so I'm going to start letting in everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so we've got several guests throughout the world, it looks like. You guys can hear me all right? Dr. Samina, can you hear me all right?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
All right, so it is just 2 minutes after 11 o'clock. We wanted to get started at 11 o'clock, so I want to welcome everyone to the Life Farm product webinar on ExtrimShape. We have a really great video that we're going to show first, and then we are going to get into an excellent PowerPoint with Dr. Samina in regards to all the great things that we're finding out about the ExtrimShape product. It is so much more than a weight management product. So we will be getting into that. So good morning, Dr. Samina. Good morning, Irene. You guys would like to say hello, please feel free to, and I'll start getting the video ready. All right, so this is a new video that we just got out roughly about a week ago on the Extreme product. So I'm going to play this first just to give everyone a good idea of what's to come with the PowerPoint training that's coming. So let me go ahead and start this video. One moment, please.
It's not just us, it's Harvard Medical School, Institute of Health, WebMD, and even the Mayo Clinic. From depression to cancer, fatty liver disease to diabetes, high blood sugar is killing us. Think about it. Are you feeling more fatigue, increased hunger, or worsening vision? These are all signs that your blood sugar might be rising, and that it could be leading to a more serious problem, just like it has for 86 million Americans. In fact, 1 in 4 adults over the age of 60 are already diabetic. But look, it's not your fault. Not only is the food supply stacked against you, if you know blood sugar goes up simply by aging, it's inevitable, because as we age, the body produces less insulin, which means blood sugar remains elevated for longer. Of course, blood sugar medication. Did you know that the long-term side effects of these drugs may lead to heart problems and strokes? It might seem like a vicious cycle and a losing battle until now. Because now there is a natural solution. A way to harness the natural power of your own body to fight blood sugar. This is ExtrimShape, a revolutionary new product that takes advantage of the body's own insulin commands, beta cells. These beta cells are designed by nature to control blood sugar, but they need signals to start working. Signals that come from platelet-derived growth factors. Researchers have known for years that platelet-derived growth factors help proliferate or create more beta cells. But what they have not known is a natural source for these growth factors, until now. ExtrimShape is the only product on the market today with this combination of growth factors and other blood sugar-fighting ingredients. Like the block blend, a natural blend proven to help block sugar absorption in your bloodstream. And the burn blend, known to help detox and burn excess fat caused by high blood sugar. It even contains the boost blend, which helps increase your energy levels that might drop after blood sugar swings. And we know it works. Life Farm Scientific Advisory Board member Dr. Samina tested ExtrimShape with her patients. She put them on 2 Extrim tablets a day for 90 days. And guess what? Her patients saw saw an average of a 15-point drop in blood sugar levels. Incredible results that Dr. Samina's patients have already experienced. And if you are not happy whatsoever with your decision, simply keep the bottles for free. Life Farm offers a 60-day empty bottle guarantee, so we are taking all the risks so that you've got nothing to lose. It's time to get off the blood sugar roller coaster. Let's get your blood sugar back into shape with ExtrimShape. Don't wait. Order yours risk-free now.
So thank you you guys very much for attending the Life Farm webinar on the ExtrimShape product. That was our newest video out on Extrim. So at the very end, we will, I think, be opening it up for questions and answers. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our host, Irene Samchin, and our co-host, Dr. Samina, who will be doing the presentation on the Extrim product. So good morning, ladies. Thank you very much for joining us. How is your guys' day going real quick?
Excellent. Beautiful day. Beautiful summer. Time to get in good shape. In good
for me,
health.
Peter,
All right.
not a day, it's nighttime because it's 11 p.m. Past 11 p.m. I'm in Pakistan right now.
Well, good evening, and thank you for being available for our webinar. Thank you so much, Dr. Samina. I'm going to start queuing up the PowerPoint if you are ready, Dr. Samina.
Yes, I am. And welcome to our participants from Mexico, Hungary, California. You know, it's amazing to have you on board. I was just looking at the chat and you're all there. And I feel so delighted that Irene and I can be, you know, of service to you in explaining something about this wonderful product, ExtrimShape.
Yes.
I just want to say that we organized this webinar for our team because many people right now asking many questions how Extreme works, and I personally have amazing result with this product. So I want to share my results later after presentation. And because the new studies been done just recently, we want everybody to know what quality of product we have in Life Farm. So Dr. Samina, thank you for joining the webinar and sharing all your knowledge. Yeah, we need it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, let me go ahead and queue up the PowerPoint. One moment, please.
Thank you for your technical support. We
Yes.
couldn't do anything without that. So it's something that's required for these webinars and these Zoom meetings. And you're doing a great job. So
Thank
I'm
you.
excited, you know, to actually be a co-host with Irene. And Irene and I go back a long way. We have a relationship with Life Farm, which also goes back a long way. And we are both, you know, in a way, talking to you today about stuff which is experiential. It's not made up. It's based on our personal lives, our life stories. And for me, as a medical doctor and also being on the scientific advisory board, I find it vital that I share all my knowledge and experience with you so that you can also incorporate all these things in your life and, you know, get that opportunity to live a healthy life. So we have a PowerPoint presentation for you. And we just want to make it into a slideshow, which Peter just did. So the first slide, it says, get off the, you know, this blood glucose roller coaster, right? We've all sat on roller coasters and you all know that it goes up and it goes down and it goes up and it goes down and it's never ending. That's the worst thing about it. It goes on and on and on. And so does this vicious cycle of our, you know, body getting extensive glucose and then going down and having a, you know, a low spike and a high spike. So I want you to get off this blood glucose roller coaster and move on to a highway, because highways are smooth. There's no roller coaster on them. So at the end of this presentation, Irene, we want them to get on that highway and not to be on that roller coaster anymore. right?
Right. Yes, yes.
The next slide. Okay, what is blood glucose? So before I talk about that, I just want to tell you some of these statistics. The International Diabetes Foundation, or they have these statistics that they come out with, IDF, and they came out with this statistic, which is mind-boggling. It's like 136 million people between ages 65 and 90 are suffering from high blood sugar, or they are battling with diabetes. And that's almost 19.3% of the global population. And it's not a great figure, right?
Yeah.
But wait till you hear this. Almost 429 million people ages 20 to 75 are also battling with diabetes. And that's almost 7.7% of the global population. So I call it an epidemic. It hasn't become a pandemic, but it will, and it can, if we keep on with the way we are, of not changing, or making changes in our life. So diabetes mellitus, it's called. Not mellitus, it's mellitus. And it's interesting. Mellitus means honey, but it's not as sweet as you'd want it to be. It's a bad disease to get. So diabetes, is something I think all of us have encountered in our families, in our friends. And you know something, you can actually treat it. You can also control it, but you cannot really right now say that, hey, I have found the cure for diabetes. We haven't. So we need to learn how to control it. I feel that's so important, because we don't want to get, more chronic diseases. And I remember in med school, we were told that this is one disease which is a risk factor for many more. So today's presentation is going to tell you all about it. What is blood glucose? So anything you eat, you put a bagel in your mouth, you put any carbohydrate, anything like that. Let's give an example of a bagel. We're going to eat a bagel. It goes in the body and it gets digested. And the end product of that digestive process is glucose, and it goes into the bloodstream. Now, the glucose should be entering the cells of your body, right, through the bloodstream, going into the cells, helping in all the metabolic processes, and making sure that energy is released, right? ATP. And that energy is what you use for your everyday work or activities, right? But what will happen if that glucose in the bloodstream starts rising and becomes very high? We call it hyperglycemia, which means a lot of sugar. Now, the other word for that is hypo, which is low. But guess what? Both of these are bad. Hyperglycemia or hypo is no good. We need to have a balance. We need to have a very good balance of, let's call it this, when you have gasoline, air, and, when you put fuel in the car, you have a right measure of everything, right? You put the proper gasoline, there is air, there is fluid and all that. And if it's not correct, the car doesn't move. So that is a similar situation with our body. The right balance is required, right? So we need to have some mechanisms in the body where this glucose will be transported into the cell. And for that, you need insulin. You need to remember that word, insulin. Irene, are you familiar with that hormone, insulin?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, everybody knows that word, I believe. If you ask anybody to name a hormone, the only one I feel they're going to name is insulin. Let me tell you. I don't think they know more than, they know names of other hormones, because we keep hearing it all the time. Hey, my insulin injection. People inject.
That's horrible. My father had diabetes for almost 30 years. So I know what insulin means, and shots and tablets, and I know that.
Yes. So now blood glucose, it's like sugar, like I told you, in the bloodstream, right? Let's move on to the next slide. We don't want a lot of this blood glucose, right? So if you look at this slide, you see a normal one. Here, the red part is the red blood cell, and the whitish little, round circular things is the sugar. they made white. They want to make sure that through this diagram, you know that sugar is white. So do you see the diagram on the left? It's normal. Sugar is there in the bloodstream, but it's not too much. But the diagram on the right side shows a lot of sugar. That's not good. We don't want that in our blood, you see. We do not want a lot of sugar in our bloodstream. That is our major goal, right? And we want this sugar to go into the cell. And after this slide, I'm going to explain to you what the two different kinds of diabetes is, type 1 and type 2. Because in this particular presentation, it's so important to understand the two kinds, right? So let's move on to the next slide and see what we have there. All right, so before I go on to the management, I need to explain to you the two types. There's type 1 and type 2. And type 1 is a kind which usually appears earlier in your life, you see, as a young kid. You get it when you are born. So it's more like a hereditary thing. It's a disease you get when you are born. And type 1 is, the cause of that is an autoimmune disorder. It's an autoimmune disorder you inherited, and it could have also happened because of some major, pathological consequence in the body. But you are literally in a state where you have certain symptoms which I want you to know about: polydipsia, polyphagia, polyuria. So these are three polys, very easy to understand. Polydipsia means I'm going to drink a lot of water. I just feel thirsty all the time. Polyphagia is when I want to eat a lot of food. And polyuria is when I pee a lot. So these are three symptoms to watch out for in your life, because guess what? These three also are present in type 2. So they are common to the two. Now, why does that happen? What is this disease about? So just to tell you, pancreas is an organ in our body which produces insulin. And insulin is made by the beta cells, which lie in a place called islets of Langerhans. These are islands, little areas or regions where you have these beta cells. They start producing insulin. We need insulin. Why? Because that is our transporter of the glucose, which is in the bloodstream. It's going to take the glucose like a taxi or a cab does, a passenger, and it takes it to, the passenger is the glucose, right? So insulin is the cab, and it's going to drive that little glucose molecule into the cell. Now, in the people who get type 1 diabetes, the problem is they don't have insulin, because the cells which produce insulin, the beta cells, they are damaged. And so they don't have a chance. Now, what will happen? They will eat the bagel and the glucose will come into the bloodstream, and now it's increasing and nobody is able to take that glucose into the cell, and so hyperglycemia. Insulin is not present. We need to give these people a vaccine, like an injection. That's the only way they will be able to reduce the insulin because of the damage to the pancreas and to those cells. And now the type 2, again, those three symptoms: polydipsia, polyphagia, polyuria. And they are people who usually get it in their later life. And this is the type of diabetes that we can actually try to treat. And how do we do it? And treat it and also avoid getting it, literally. We can actually prevent ourselves from going into getting type 2. And it is very common to get type 2 diabetes. Now, what is the cause or pathology of this one? Here, the thing is that you have, everything is really working out for you. The bagel tested to the bloodstream. Now, you are also producing insulin. Your pancreas is working well. Your islets of Langerhans are good. The beta cells are good. The beta cells are producing insulin. Now, insulin enters the bloodstream and puts that glucose into that little cab, the insulin cab, and goes to the cell. But guess what? The cell is resistant. It doesn't like insulin. It hates it. It shuts the door. It's like you cannot enter. I'm sorry. So then the result is the same. glucose is not getting utilized. When glucose doesn't get utilized, it's still high in the bloodstream, and you need to get rid of that glucose. So here you start taking oral hypoglycemic agents or drugs, or sometimes the doctor tells you to modify your lifestyle. What do they tell you? Improve your diet. So you see this slide, they tell you, hey, listen, you got this disease where you need to lose weight. You're obese. You have to lose those pounds. You've got a big belly, and you need to try to, become a more healthier person. Exercise a lot. Try to eat smaller portions. Don't eat big helpings. Try to drink a lot of water, and basically a healthy lifestyle is what they're trying to propagate. So in this slide, if you notice, that's what they're trying to tell you, that you just need to develop good, healthy habits, and your blood glucose levels will definitely improve. And people usually carry a glucometer, and when they follow healthy guidelines, they don't get that high level of glucose, and that's that. So type 1, something we can't prevent, but type 2, you can definitely do something to make sure that you don't get this. So let's move to the next slide. All right, reading nutrition labels. Irene, how many people read that? Do your friends read nutrition labels?
Some of them, yes. Yeah, some of them, but most not. Most just see what they have at the store, buy it, eat it, and then suffer. That's what happened to us.
Sometimes I go to the shopping mall, and I have to tell you, Irene, my biggest pastime sometimes when I go to the grocery store is because it's my field. I'm curious. I want to know what people are shopping for. But I have seen carts full of soda.
Yes.
There'll be a guy who will only have soda in his cart, nothing else, and he will go to the cashier's desk. He's done with his shopping. So I really worry about that, And when you look at them, they are overweight for sure, because I don't know if you know the statistics, almost 74% of the US population is overweight. Isn't that a crazy figure? Oh my God. And after COVID, 42% people literally came into that category of overweight, obese, and women gained 29 pounds. They did the survey, but mostly they saw the increase in weight for women. Sorry about that, ladies, but 29 pounds we put on during COVID. It was a big sort of shock for many people. Their dress sizes changed. I have friends who tell me. So these nutrition facts are so important. Please, when you're buying anything, look at the label. And I have done a little study. I can bet you if you go to buy any juice, because I've done more of a study on beverages. So if you look at any juice, it could be orange juice, lemonade, pineapple juice, mixed cocktail fruits, whatever. I'm not going to name the brands, but look at the nutrition facts, and I can tell you 26 grams of sugar is right there. That's a lot. You don't want to put that much sugar in your body. Processed foods are full of these things, excessive salt, excessive sugar. We can get diseases like diabetes, but also get hypertension, heart disease, autoimmune disorders, and many kinds of other, terrible, I see cancers happening because of our, bad the food habits, eating habits. So we need to really take our health seriously. We must, because we have to do it before it's too late. It's like a freight train is coming, you get it? And we are in line of that freight train. Have an opportunity to get out of the way, run. But we need to have energy to do that. If we are obese, we might not be even able to move.
Exactly.
To get out, out of the way. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, so how does blood sugar affect your body, right? Basically, when blood sugar is in good level, at a good level, it's like gold. It's amazing because it gives us energy. So we can go to the gym, we can exercise, you can go and have a great time dancing with your friends, you entertain, you live a great, joyous life, like I see Irene doing
Yes,
right now.
that's true.
The quality of life increases because glucose gives energy. And you and I, and all the people who are watching this program right now, the webinar, let me tell you, we run on energy. Without the energy, we are like a cell phone without the battery. So it's like dead. So energy is from glucose. So you do need it. It's not a villain, but you need it in the right amount. And when you have it in good amount, life is good. But when it is in a bad amount, which means it's either too high or too low, there's trouble, because when it's too high, it also damages organs in our body and causes many complications. And when it is too low, it makes you feel low. You're tired and fatigued. Brain doesn't work well, by the way, because of hypoglycemia. If we move on to the next slide, I think we'll probably see the effects of that low blood sugar, I'm thinking. Okay, we will very soon. So 86 million people have blood sugar, which is either high or low, right? That's a lot of people, right, Irene? And if you don't take the right measures, the right actions, you are heading in the direction of literally getting diabetes. And it's a big number that we should be looking at it and absorbing how important it is for us to control our sugar. Let's move to the next slide. All right, so basically, uh, refined foods, processed food, these are causing all the issues, right? So what happens in these refineries? What they do is they take the good sugar, the raw sugar, which is okay for you, and they're going to remove that uh, the good part of it, which you needed in the body, and they're just going to refine it so much, make it all white and clean, that they do with rice as well, polish, get rid of the husk, and then they give us this. Now, why do they do that? They don't understand when you make something so refined and so, you remove the actual essence or the fiber of it, you are making it into like a bomb, something which is go into my body and boom, raise the level of sugar to the highest it can, because it just kind of becomes into a simple sugar, right? A simple carb as compared to a complex. Complex carbohydrates are better for us because they take a long time to actually burn or become sugar. Whereas these refined sugars, they go into the body and boom, you get a sugar burst. It's too much, it's excessive, and we don't need it. And it just increases all that sugar level in your body and leads to inflammation, which we run away from. Inflammation equals disease. Let's move to the next slide. All right, so your body won't burn fat until it's done with burning sugar, which is true. So I told you about the glucose being in the bloodstream. Remember, the insulin was going to take it into the cell. Now, whenever we have too much sugar in the bloodstream, usually the one we don't need, or if it's excessive, gets stored as fat. Why does it get stored as fat? Why does it get stored also in the liver as glycogen? These are storage sites, muscles, liver, fat tissue. The reason is that when you and I need sugar, the body has a system of then making sure that the supply is there. So from the storage, it's going to remove that and then convert it into glucose and give it to you when you need it, right? But those fat stores are usually undisturbed. They're not going to be used if you constantly keep having high levels of sugar in your blood. If you're constantly eating sugary foods, a lot of carbohydrates, then there's no need to get the storage stuff, right? It's like you buying 2-3 bags of rice and putting it in your pantry and saying, hey, I want to keep extra rice in my pantry. But if you already have this habit of eating rice anyways by going to a restaurant, going to friends' houses, then you won't need the rice that you stored in the pantry, right? It's not required because you're traveling, you're going to friends' houses, they're giving you that rice, or you're going to a restaurant. That's what's happening. So those stores always stay in the pantry, they're there, and that's fat. So the fat does not get burnt. What is happening is that you're just literally trying to burn that sugar, and it's never ending. So you never lose your weight also. That's what happens, because in order to lose weight, you need to burn the fat. Let's move on to the next slide. And in this slide, you see these beautiful children running everywhere. They're full of energy because they've just come from the source. I love, watching children play in playgrounds, Irene. Sometimes I just feel, doesn't it make you feel invigorated?
Yes.
Just looking at that picture. Looking at the picture makes you
Yes.
feel happy. And these children, by the way, also are now suffering from the same plight. They can burn a lot of sugar. They have a lot of energy in them, and they also lose a lot of calories because they exercise. But they still struggle because, right now children are in the same boat. They are going to fast food restaurants. They are just eating the wrong kinds of foods. They are snacking. I know children who are up all night. In fact, the new generation is up at night and it sleeps in the morning. And I've been discussing this with many parents that the children are like owls. They just don't go to sleep. The clock is just turned upside down, different timings. So let's move to the next slide. So what happens when you have high blood sugar, right? I want to tell all our friends who are watching that these side effects are so terrible, and they are never ending, and they keep increasing as we age. It starts inflammation, and inflammation of your blood vessels, small and large. So when it starts causing inflammation of those tiny blood vessels, the eyes are affected, and people will start having blurry vision. And if the sugar doesn't get controlled, we have seen people losing their vision. They get blind. It's called diabetic retinopathy. And so losing your vision, I think that's the worst thing that can happen. And then more so with other blood vessels in the body, that the kidneys are the ones which usually filter, and they do the filtration. So now excessive sugar being there, because I just told you that the sugar is just not getting out of the bloodstream. So it even causes polyuria, which means it goes into what happens is that the kidneys start filtering it. It's just not able to. There's too much sugar. So sugar appears in the urine, and it doesn't get, it just doesn't get back into the blood. And we get polyuria. We keep absorbing water from the body, because of osmosis, and now the water starts leaving the body. You're peeing, you are losing your, water through your pee, and then you keep drinking more water because you're thirsty, the cells are thirsty, and your whole system, the satiety center, which is in the brain, which controls everything about, hey, am I full? Am I not full? It goes out of whack. Now we don't even know if we are hungry or not. A lot of times we have enough food in our body, but our center is saying, no, you don't. You need more food, and we keep eating and all that. So those things complicate situations. You gain weight. Because of obesity and a lot of weight gain, you are prone to get heart disease, strokes, heart attacks, belly fat. And your blood vessels, which get damaged, also get damaged in the feet. And you must know that some people have a diabetic foot. They are just have a sore or some injury, an ulcer in the foot, and it doesn't heal because healing slows down. And these people are sometimes they have to go to a podiatrist because they are unable to feel their feet. What has happened is that it's called neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy. The nerves which are connecting our brain to our body, the blood supply of those nerves is also getting damaged. So we start getting tingling of the hands, numbness of the hands, numbness of the feet, and strange sensations in the feet. Some people get gangrene of the feet because of poor circulation. So the major organs which are hit by this high blood sugar are your kidneys, your eyes, and also your feet. That these three definitely, and also your circulation, your circulatory system.
Wow,
So let's move.
that's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah. It's literally like everywhere. Like if I tell you, Peter, that your circulatory system is affected, wouldn't that include the whole body?
Yes.
Because we're talking the whole blood circulation, right?
Yes.
Wherever the are going. So it's a big problem. And, we sometimes feel, some people tell me, hey, high blood sugar is good, but low is all right. Like, no, it's not that. It's just that spike up and down, the roller coaster, which also causes the body to get confused. So if you move on to the next slide, we will, I think, talk a little about the low blood sugar here. And you'll see that the low blood sugar, I don't know, Peter, if you've ever felt in the middle of a day when you're working that your brain goes into a brain fog and there's no clarity, just feel like, oh, what's happening? And you feel that the sugar levels are low, and you eat something and you feel a lot better.
Yeah, it's usually after my first cup of coffee in the morning, kind of gets me through the morning, and then I got to get to lunch and get some food in my system. So yes, I definitely go through that between the coffee and lunch.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And then, it's usually that, because, we have an addiction to sugar also. I don't know how many people know about sugar addiction. It's one of the addictions.
I have love to sugar.
Sugar addiction, because, you have cigarette addiction or smoking addiction, you've got drugs, alcohol and all, but sugar is a drug. That's what I tell people. So let's move on to the next slide. Let's see what we are doing here. What happens to our sugar levels as we age? So interestingly, when we are aging, we are basically, our systems, all our body systems are also aging, right? So all my organs are aging. My cells are degenerating. The fuel to the cells is becoming low quality. It's like an old car. You know what happens to an old car? It keeps stopping. You keep changing the different parts, but it's always, has some issue in the tissue. So there are issues in the tissues as we age. And I told you the statistics that are here also. 25% of adults 65 and older, that's a big percentage that they are diabetic. And insulin is produced by the beta cells, I told you, of the pancreas. But either the pancreas function will deteriorate, which will damage the beta cells, and then your insulin production will be affected. So that by itself is going to cause trouble, because then who's going to control the blood sugar level in the body, right? Or there will be production of the insulin. It will keep be getting produced, but it is not being utilized by the cells. The cells have become old and tired and fatigued. So that sugar, after a while, the pancreas gives up. It's like, hey, how much more do you want me to produce? I think I've been giving you a lot of insulin, but it's not being used. So I think I'm going to give up. So it's like the organs give up, right? And that's what happens here. So you are not utilizing any of the stuff that's be coming out, and that leaves you with high sugar levels. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, that's that sugar addiction cycle. Okay, so sugar's right there in the middle, those white blocks. Okay, let's start the cycle. All right, let's take a deep breath and start the sugar addiction cycle. I will do it on me. Here I am. I'm eating sugar. I love my ice cream. I love my jelly beans. I pop them in. I love candy, chocolates here. So what happens is when I eat all these wonderful things, dopamine gets released. And dopamine, it's like it's going to give me a high of some sort where, I'm like, wow, that feels so good. I have so much energy. I love it. I can move. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm going out. I'm having so much fun. And then all of a sudden, there's a drop, because these candies and all, they give you instant energy, but then it drops right that, right? So now when it drops, right, it's because, of course, those high, why does it drop though? Because Mayday, insulin starts getting secreted. Hey, there is a major, like gazillion glucose sort of molecules have entered or arrived in the bloodstream. All right, insulin starts going there. Get rid of this sugar, get rid of the sugar, get rid of the sugar. And then all of a sudden, that high sugar, which I was experiencing so well in my bloodstream, now goes down. It's low blood sugar. Wow. And now I'm craving more sugar because I have low blood sugar. What happened to that feeling, that high I had, the sugar high? So there I go again, picking up my candy, my chocolate, my, everything. So this vicious cycle or circle of never ending, addiction. People who grab that big bucket of ice cream, we see it in movies also. Yeah. I love that. Sometimes I want to do that. It's fun. Okay, let's move to that next slide after this one. What is the solution? Okay, so you need to basically either go with a radical change in your lifestyle, which means I make a decision that I am going to change my diet. I'm going to start my Mediterranean diet, where I'm going to just eat vegetables and fruits, go low on the dairy, not try to eat too much of meat, and I'm going to have a low carb diet all the time. And I'm going to stay away from sweets. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to have no stress in my life. I will meditate every day, and I will sleep at the right time, wake up at the right time. I mean, there's a lot which happens with the lifestyle. Well, if you're willing to do that, you are on the right track there too. But we have a secret weapon. Irene and I, should we show them the secret
yes, everybody's
weapon?
waiting for it. Yes.
Okay, Irene, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dun, ta, da. We're waiting. Okay, we still have some suspense. So you see the yellow caps? The yellow caps I told you was insulin, right? Right, Irene and Peter?
Yes.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, so where is insulin, Peter, if you've been watching it? Insulin, and where are the beta cells? Remember I told you? So let's see how much you guys learned.
Go ahead, Irene.
And if you guys don't tell me, then we're going to go to all the participants and ask them.
Let's go to the participants.
Okay, let's ask the participants. So Irene, tell me who's answering this question. I want to know if you have followed this whole talk. What does the yellow cap stand for, and what do the passengers stand for? All those passengers there. What are those yellow cabs? Did anybody answer? We're waiting.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear which is the yellow cab? I think I said it 2-3 times. The yellow cabs, the taxi,
yes.
The transporter. Who is the transporter? What's the name of the transporter? Who transports sugar from the bloodstream, from your blood vessel to the cell? What is the name of that transportation? The cab, the yellow cab. What is the name of that cab who makes glucose sit in it and take it to the cell? That's the question.
Taking insulin, but
yes, Peter, that is the answer.
Oh, yes.
Good job.
Well, you what reminded me was you had mentioned it's the one hormone that everyone talks about, I think you said.
Yes, I did.
So that is why I remember it.
Is going to get 1 Extreme bottle free, or should we give him 3?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so here we look at this traffic scenario, right? And again, I have already talked about it. Like I said, that insulin is, of course, the primary vehicle for moving the sugar around, right? That hormone. But I want to tell you, let's imagine, Peter, in every office, there's a boss, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to remember this by finding out who the bosses are. Right now, I'm going to tell you about two bosses, like the first boss. The first boss is the beta cell, okay? Beta cell is the boss and it makes insulin, okay? Will we remember that? This
Yes.
boss is making insulin. All right, so beta cell, where is the beta cell made? Where is it? In the pancreas. The
Okay.
beta is in the pancreas, and beta cell produces insulin, which you need to transport glucose into the body. Okay.
Okay.
So here the question is, if your beta cells are not working well or are damaged, will you have an issue? Will you have a problem?
I would believe so. I don't think we want anything damaged in our body.
So beta cells make insulin. If I damage the beta cells, insulin will not be produced. If insulin is not produced, then your glucose will not go make it to the cell. That's what I want to try to explain. That it's a very simple thing. You know, in this webinar, if I'm able to explain all this to you, you guys will remember it. I know it because I haven't made it complicated. I've talked about insulin, a hormone, which is produced by the pancreas, where in the pancreas are beta cells. You must remember the beta cells. They are very important. But as we age, they become damaged. So we want to like make sure that they work well, right? So the
Yes.
beta cells are the precious cells, the big boss. The big boss is producing insulin. It's important for us. So let's move to the next slide. These are the two words, beta cells, insulin. Only two things you're going to remember. Okay. This is a complicated graph. I don't want to go too deeply into it. But in order to tell you why you should take a particular supplement, you need to know. So that's why we have that slide. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Just take a deep breath, all of us. We have to take a deep breath. We have to take a deep breath and say, oh, what's the solution? Tell us the solution. Okay. Life Farm has a solution. And the solution, Irene, can you show us the solution on your screen? She's going to hold it. It's, what is it called? Irene? What is the solution? The name of the supplement?
ExtrimShape.
ExtrimShape. Okay. And now ExtrimShape has the Life Farm egg biofactor. I know whoever is watching is familiar with the bioactive growth factor, the famous Life Farm bioactive growth factor, right? It has a certain protein in it, which is called the platelet derived growth factor, okay, PDGF. Platelet derived growth factor, okay, is contained in these biofactors, egg biofactors. So if you just look at that right now, I'm not going to complicate anything. The graphs are just showing us that ExtrimShape is able to increase the beta cells. You get it? They increase the growth of the beta cells. Why do we want the beta cells to grow and become better? Because we want them to produce insulin so that your sugar gets controlled properly. So through this experiment that you see on the right side of the screen, we are able to tell you that the PDGF is contained in Life Farm's egg bioactive factor, and it is able to signal the growth of beta cells. All right. And beta cells make insulin, and insulin regulates your sugar. Right. So let's move to the next slide and see what else we can tell you about ExtrimShape. All right. So again, the same thing that I told you in the previous slide, we are repeating it here, right? That PDGF, platelet-derived growth factor, they have shown it to have a relation with beta cell proliferation or growth, that it can actually improve the growth of the beta cell and also it's functioning, because they have done experiments in which they've seen that as we age, our beta cell function goes down. With aging, the function goes bad and they get damaged. ExtrimShape is the only health product that has these growth factors. So that's a huge thing. If you know, for Life Farm to actually present that to you, it's the only health product which has a solution to making your beta cell proliferation and function better, right? And after explaining all the things to you in this webinar, I was mainly focusing on how important beta cell is. And as we age, and you already saw the statistics, 25% of the population above the age of 65 is battling with diabetes. That's a big part of the population. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, here I am. So we did a study and I was able to see that by giving 2 ExtrimShapes in a day to our patients, our clients for 90 days, that's 3 months, what did we see? We saw a drop, an average drop of 15 points in the blood sugar levels of these patients. So let's move to the next slide. Now, there are 3 additional blends. Guys, if you notice that all of a sudden the lighting became low, is because we have load shedding here where I am. Irene, so the electricity goes many times in a day. And during this webinar, I guess, is another time when we don't have it. But I have my Wi-Fi all set, so I'm in touch with you guys. All right, so 3 additional blends, which are very important in the ExtrimShape. These are herbal blends. These are natural ingredients which are going to make sure that the blood sugar spikes, you know, are not going to happen that way. And now you already know that when we are actually combating with blood sugar issues, what are our major concerns? We gain weight, we have low sugar, where we have low energy and we have fatigue, right? And a lot of times we get constipated. So let's see all the blends that we have in our wonderful product, the ExtrimShape. And it's going to show you how you will not only be able to fight the issues with weight gain, with low energy and fatigue, and with constipation. It's such an intelligent blend. I call it, you know, a triple sort of treat. So if we go to the next slide. The first one is the block blend. As the name suggests, block. You want to block the absorption of sugar. So the block blend has the white kidney bean extract, and through many research and experiments, we have been able to find out that the white kidney bean extract has the ability to block sugar from being absorbed, you know, just before it gets converted into fat. You know, you are able to, it's like this, the bloodstream is there and all the glucose molecules are in it. And I am that white kidney bean extract, right? And I put a big stop sign to all the glucose molecules. Stop. I will not let you get absorbed. I'm going to stop you guys. So there is a little benefit here, Irene, for people who like to not go on a diet and cheat. You know, they want to do a little cheating with food. You can. When you take ExtrimShape, you can actually cheat. You can have cheat days, like, you know, when you have a birthday party or a weekend with friends, you can actually do that, because the white kidney bean extract will be able to stop the absorption and block the absorption of glucose before it gets converted into, you know, fat, and that'll be amazing. So block blend also has other herbs which also stop that craving for sugar. You don't feel like having sugar. And you know, Gymnema sylvester is there, which is in Ayurveda, we call it the sugar destroyer. It curbs, it actually makes your taste buds become a little, you know, like it has that aversion. You get a bad taste when you eat anything that is very sugary. So if you take a bit of the Extreme Shape tablet and you bite it in your mouth, and then you eat anything sugary, it will not taste nice at all. So that's a good thing.
I love it.
So let's move.
I love it.
That's a good part, that it curbs your cravings. It gives you that distaste for sugar, blocks the sugar. So let's move to the next blend. After the block blend, we have the burn blend. And as the name suggests, you want to burn the fat in the body, wherever that's totally, like you start an engine, you want to like improve the metabolism also, and make sure that the fat burning happens. So yerba mate, Garcinia cambogia, green tea extract, they are amazing antioxidants. They reduce inflammation. And these ingredients have been shown that if you regularly take them, you will be able to balance your sugar levels. Next, the boost blend. The boost blend is going to improve your metabolism. It'll improve it to such an extent that when you take this supplement, you'll say, my bowel movements have become better. And there's a reason, because in the boost blend, you've got fiber, you have acacia gum. And acacia is famous for the fact that when you literally dissolve or you take it in your body, it becomes 7 times its size, which is amazing. So what is it going to do? It's becoming bulky. It's like increasing the fiber in your body. Fiber basically makes you feel full. So you don't feel like eating. You'll be like have that sense of fullness. And Cascara sagrada is again, a beautiful herb which makes sure that your detoxification of the gut happens, and it's able to also help a lot in making sure that we evacuate our bowels regularly. So these are some great products which are part of Extreme Shape, which is like a bonus. Like I mentioned before, it already has the egg bioactive factor, which is giving you an advantage of repairing, improving, your beta cells, making those beta cells stronger, proliferation, growth, all that. And then you have the 3 blends to make it like an amazing, beautiful supplement. Next. Okay, I think we've come to the end of our presentation here. So what are the benefits? And there are a lot. If you remember from the beginning, I was telling you about the importance of having healthy insulin levels. And that's what Extreme Shape is doing, making sure you don't get those blood spikes. You're not on that roller coaster, you're on the highway. And it's also making your beta cells healthy. It's supporting your weight, curbing your cravings, boosting metabolism, relieving constipation. But another thing that I think I didn't focus too much on, and I want to say here, Irene, a lot of us forget about the emotional well-being of how we manage ourselves the whole day. And I feel if you have a good mood during the 24 hours that you are, there are times when we are sleeping, of course, that's a sleep mode. But all the times that you're interacting with people, if you had a good mood and you didn't have the mood swings, it would be a great life, right? Staying positive. Isn't it, Irene? Not getting angry at people, not having mood swings, not being totally what is the word? Nasty. I think that's what I want to use. There are people in the world who are nasty. And sometimes I wonder why. Why do you make it difficult for other people? Come on, guys. Take Extreme Shape. Improve your mood. Normalize it. There's so many benefits. Next. All right. So Irene, you want to talk about the offer?
Maybe Peter can explain better, but we can see price for ExtrimShape. And right now, Life Farm created an excellent promo for us to save some money. So if somebody wants to buy 2 bottles of Extreme as of today and to the end of the month, they can have 10% saving, which is great. And the next slide, and if somebody wants to buy 3 bottles of ExtrimShape for 90 days, is 15% of savings, which is even better. And sometimes people said, Irene, do you have to take ExtrimShape every day? As long as you wanna fight sugar, as insulin, as long as you wanna be in good shape, and as long as you wanna bring your body to the good shape. And I can tell you guys my story. When I was 55, I was obese and I really want to lose weight. So I started to exercise. I was doing so many different things. And actually, I was going losing weight, gain weight, losing weight. And it was like a roller coaster, real roller coaster for me. So sometimes on the pictures, people see me slim looking. In a few years, I'm bulky looking. But I was exercising the entire time. And when I heard about ExtrimShape, I got hope, big hope that everything I do will have value. And I start to take ExtrimShape twice a day with the big meal. If in the morning I have just 1 egg for breakfast, so I don't have to take ExtrimShape. I take only when I take sweets like cookies or big dinner and stuff. And what I started noticing when I was doing the same exercise, work on the same workout program, I start to sweat more. And suddenly one day I went from size 6 to size 4. And my friend called me Barbie. And you know, that was the biggest compliment for me. And I see now how ExtrimShape works. And so many reasons why I take this product and will continue to take product as long as a company will produce it. First of all, my father had diabetes for 30 years. So I'm kind of like a candidate to have diabetes. So every time when I see the product on the market can balance the sugar level, I'll take it.
And another
So when, yes, and that was before I met a Life Farm company. So in 2011, when I was introduced to Lemon-9 product, I got on a product myself. I put Papa on a product. And so Papa's sugar was 92, dropped from 500 to 92. And actually, if somebody followed me on Facebook, you can see just recent video on Father's Day. I put this video back because that video was taken like 5 years ago. And on Father's Day, we measured his sugar and it was 92. And I said, this is the best gift I could give to my father. Yeah. So I've been on Lemon-9 11 years, and now I'm 2 years on ExtrimShape. And Peter, if you added some of my pictures to show new people results.
Here we go.
I cannot even believe it, it's me. So you can see in 2015, that's my picture. I was visiting Luba Aronova in New Jersey, and we were doing presentation. And I look good,
yes.
But now I look much better because I lose stomach fat and my body is extreme shape,
yes.
And which makes me very happy.
I have one more picture to share.
Yeah, please.
Amazing.
Yeah, and look at this picture. Look, no waste. So and that. So May. By the way, May 2015 on the left side, and February 2022 this year, and I'm 5 years older. So you see how I used to look when I was 60 and 65. And this is my result. And I always tell people, if you put something in your mind, if you want to achieve something, you have to work on your achievement. So what I'm doing, I keep exercising, I'm walking, I take Lemon-9, I take ExtrimShape, and I'm very positive because all the products help me to be positive, And Dr. Samina, I'm so happy that you took time to be with us and explain to our team. And I know we're recording this presentation. We can send this video to so many people. And I'm listening and I'm talking to myself and I'm saying, I'm so blessed to have Dr. Samina with us because the way you explain, it's like for first graders. You know, first grader will understand everything what you explain, why we need this product. And I hope this presentation will help people to realize, yes, we have a great solution. And we have already my result. So let's work together on your shape, on your good health. And then maybe in 6 months, you can send us your results, your pictures, and we can add it to our
Yes, we would love to see your before and after pictures and share them with LifeFarm. Thank you so much, Irene. Dr. Samina, did you have something to say? If not, we do have a question that came in.
Yes, I just want to mention something. You know, a lot
Yes.
of people ask me, how long should we take a supplement? And it's an interesting question, right? Well, it's not about, like, I mean, when you ask somebody, how long do I take a supplement for, I feel it's more like, how long do you want to stay healthy? Because remember, the body is constantly going to take something in and throw it out also. There is absorption, digestion, and all that, and then there's elimination. So we do need to constantly take a supplement. It's not about just taking it for a short time and getting rid of it after that. But for this particular supplement, I do want to suggest something, because I did this study with my friend Kimberly, who's also a scientist in Life Farm.
Yes.
Also Galina Pana, my dear friend, she's the one who conducted the study with us. And we all came to a conclusion that when our clients took ExtrimShape for 90 days, 3 months, we were able to see those sort of effects. We were able to see that the sugar levels dropped 15 points. We were also able to see some other remarkable findings and things like they felt better, their appetite became better, they were not constipated anymore. Many of them had a good result with their BMI, the weight loss also. So I would urge you to definitely go for the 3 bottles, the 90-day plan.
Yes.
If you don't want to, if you want to continue after that, great, but don't take a lesser supply of ExtrimShape, because it takes a while to see the effects also.
Yes.
Again, discount, 15% discount. What a beautiful time to purchase 3 bottles of ExtrimShape.
Yes.
Right now.
Definitely. And I've also heard, Irene, you talk about it not just taking supplements, it's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yes. I'm not gonna quit this product because there was a time I was taking Extreme for 1 year and I stopped. And in a month, I was craving for sugar again. So I thought, oh, no, that's not gonna happen to me. Okay, let's get back on ExtrimShape. No ice cream, no chocolates. So not eating ice cream, especially I'm not eating at nighttime, which helped a lot for me to wake up in the morning with good energy and see myself still slim.
Wow.
And good looking. Yes.
That is amazing. Thank you for these great stories that you're sharing and the pictures you've shared. We do have one question that came in, if Dr. Samina is still available. Are you still there, Dr. Samina?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a question from Wout. He is asking, can you also create too much beta cells?
So one thing to remember is that you already have beta cells. Beta cells are part of the islets of Langerhans, and they are there as this is part of the pancreas, like you have an organ where you
Yes.
into this world with an organ and you have certain anatomical structures in that organ. Beta cells are there already. We just want those beta cells to become healthier. We want them to become more functional, and that's what we want to do with ExtrimShape. Like I said, it helps in improving their function.
And second part to the question is, and possibly lose too much weight. So can you create too many beta cells and possibly lose too much weight if that does happen?
Well, like I said, beta cells are already there. Imagine them being there. If their function is good, they produce insulin, right? That's what
Yes.
they do. Producing insulin. What does insulin do? It's going to grab the glucose from the bloodstream and take it to the cell. That's the function of insulin mainly, to make sure that, it expedites all this. The weight loss that sometimes is a feature of diabetes is because of a lot of times because of muscle wasting, where the muscles, are fatigued and tired and all that. And a lot of times, have you noticed that people who are diabetics, they're not really gaining too much weight? They're losing their muscle mass and all. And so the metabolism, insulin does have a role in the metabolic processes also. But I haven't really felt that somebody will just lose too much weight because of the fact that they had too much happening with the beta cells. Not at all.
We just got another question in from Judith. She is asking, is it important to take the Extrem before the meal, or would you suggest after the meal?
So the company actually suggests that you take ExtrimShape before a meal, 30 minutes to 1 hour before a meal. For also, when the study, we had told them that you must take 2 ExtrimShape twice a day. Of course, you're taking it morning, evening, or morning, afternoon, but you need to take it before your heaviest meal. So everybody has a different heavy meal. Some people take a heavy breakfast, some a heavy lunch. I usually tell people not to take a heavy dinner. It's not good for your health. But so you're going to take 1 ExtrimShape 30 minutes to 1 hour before your heaviest meal. So I recommend taking it on an empty stomach versus with the meal.
Thank you for that answer. We just got another question in from Marianne. She's asking, what if you are a healthy person? Can you take only 1 pill a day of the Extrem?
Well, I like to take ExtrimShape not only for the fact that it's controlling my blood sugar, but I just told you all the other benefits. That it's basically making sure you don't have the mood swings. It's keeping you in a good balanced way, right? And there's so many other aspects of ExtrimShape which I love. Like ExtrimShape has all these natural blends, right? The boost, block, and burn blend. Those 3 blends, in a way, are making my gut function well. I'm able to metabolize my food very well, detoxification is there, and also making sure that my hormonal balance is good, right? With the and everything. And I know that age and there's trouble with that. So I think for your body's balance and good functionality, ExtrimShape is just the way to go. I would tell people, even if they're healthy, to take it, because to stay healthy, it's a good supplement.
Thank you very much
And
for that
I'm
explanation.
healthy. Yeah, I'm healthy, but I'm taking Extreme to stay
Yes.
healthy.
All right. So I know we do have a standard answer in regards when it comes to questions about medications and our products, but Kaja and Welt are asking, if people take medications, can they still take the ExtrimShape also?
Yes, I don't think we have seen any complications or any kind of side effects in people who are already on medication, right? And mainly, if you remember, during my study, I was talking about uh, the main reason why we get those complications in diabetes, right? Excessive gain, then, having too much of belly fat, and our body, as it ages, it starts becoming slower, degenerates and all that. And ExtrimShape, is out there to make all that become, better. So it's just a win-win situation, the way I look at it. In any which way you look at it, you feel that this is something that will stabilize things for you,
Mhm.
and I definitely, I mean, I take it myself, and like Irene mentioned, I don't suffer from, uh, thank God, I don't have heart disease, diabetes, or
Mhm.
anything. But
Yes.
I'm a huge contender for a supplement which is non-toxic, non-GMO. It has organic products. It has good, like like integrity. It's about buying something which has good quality, call it that. And if I
Yes.
know that something is backed by that integrity, honesty, and good quality, why will I not help my body in all this stuff? Like, if you remember, uh, stress is something I think we have been talking about whenever we've had these little
Every
discussions.
day.
And stress is there with us every day of our life, right? And when I was doing this study on extreme shape, Galina and I, we also studied our candidates who were taking extreme shape. We started using two devices, Weather Pulse was one of them, and there was another, analyzing tool. And we noticed that people's stress levels became less.
Hmm.
And another thing we saw was their biological aging, that they were doing well with that. We did before and after, you see, and we saw the quantum analyzer test was done, and then we saw memory improving. There were so many different things, and as an Ayurvedic specialist, Ayurvedic practitioner, there are certain things I've learned about chakras, about energy centers and all. And I remember we did these tests on the Veda Pulse before and after, and we saw that people had improved organ functioning, like the energy became better in certain organ systems.
Hmm.
Because Veda Pulse also checks the Chinese traditional way of checking your organ energy. And I was very satisfied to see that the before and afters were telling me that people's stress became improved, and they were sleeping better, the memory was good. So these are a lot of things that you get from taking this supplement. It's helping people on different ways. But I have noticed one thing, and I'll again reiterate, that's my
Yes.
personal experience, that I've been, I didn't stop taking it. I take it regularly, and I see my pictures. I compare my pictures. Like, Irene, you got all those photos. I think to put my compilation of pictures as well.
Nice.
Somehow I felt that in my husband also, that he's becoming more sleek. I have to use that word, sleek.
Wow.
Like, yeah.
And so Salman is very happy. My husband's on it. He takes it all the time. He takes it every day. The one thing he remembers to take as a supplement is Extreme Shape. That's his favorite. And he again takes it on his stomach in the morning. He wakes up in the morning and he'll ask for it. Where
Very
is it?
nice. Yes, I like that word sleek. That's a good comparison there. We have one more question from Judith. She said some people may not have results with taking 2 pills. Are they able to take more?
Uh, I have a couple of friends who are taking more,
Yes.
and they are not complaining. So I guess you could try doing that. It's all personal. How much can you metabolize? It's up to you as well. But there are no side effects. So if you want to move from 2 to 3, I wouldn't say no to that,
Yes.
because, like I said, what is there in this? When you look at a supplement, you say it's got the egg biofactor. That's good for us, right?
Yes.
And if I get a lot of the green tea in my pill, and I get yerba mate and white kidney bean extract, there's nothing toxic in this. It's just like all the good stuff, a lot of that. And Cascara Sagrada never hurt anyone. And I don't think, uh, a little extra fiber is going to cause trouble. It's all good. So I have also actually, I mean, I'm doing a little different strategy these days. I don't know if I've discussed that with the company, but I'm taking 2 together. I wanted to try to
Maybe I
take
will try it.
morning, evening. I wanted to try because I did that already for the 90 days. So I said, let me see if I took 2. together, and I'm okay with it. I haven't had any trouble because my husband only takes one meal a day. He's doing intermittent fasting, and I think many people are doing that. So what if you are not taking 3 meals in a day, right? Then you will do that
Yeah.
with one meal, right?
Yes.
I'm not on one meal right now, but I'm on 2.
Very nice. And thank you for explaining that. So I just want to let everyone know that if you guys have any further questions, if you'd like to place an order, you need any help getting into your virtual office, or you just want to go ahead and call in and have us place that order for you, please do call into our customer service. I will give you the phone number in case you want to write it down. Our customer service phone number is 949-216-9600. Or you can email us at customerservice@lifefarm.com, or at your virtual office, there's a chat feature and you can chat with us also. So we're here to help you. Without you guys, we would not be successful. So thank you. And we want to help you all be successful with better health and better wealth. So thank you all for joining. Irene, would you like to say anything before we get going?
Yes, I want to say thank you to all of the participants, and please make sure when we have this video, start sending to all of your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on your phone. Send this video because this is very important and very valuable information. Thank you, Dr. Samina. Yeah, I love it. I always love to have meetings with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoy listening to you. I think many people will really appreciate what you explained today to all of us. So thank you.
Yes, Dr. Samina, thank you so much. It's a pleasure working with you, and we really enjoy having you as part of our Life Farm family.
Yeah, and Peter and Julia, yeah, thank you for technical support. Yeah,
Yes.
they're a great team.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day or a wonderful night wherever you are in the world.
Beautiful summer with
Yes.
healthy body.
Yes. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye-bye.